Welcome to another episode of Travels and Wildlife Photography. We might have to change the name if we don't get traveling soon.
Yeah, this is true. I know. This is our third one from here.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to have one more.
Yes, except that one will also include Jekyll Island.
So we will have traveled in between,
Yes.
even though we'll be recording back here.
And then we're
at
going
home
to go
base, Hilton
on a
Head.
cruise, and then we're going to go to Florida, and then we'll be traveling all around.
Well, yeah, we'll be in Florida for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Almost 3 weeks coming up.
Right.
So
But we can go to different places.
we will be moving around a little bit more in Florida, probably. Yeah. So that's what's
Anyway.
coming up, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here is the wrong button. There is.
Some favorites from the week.
Yeah, we did a little bit of photography. Not
We
much.
did a little bit of photography.
Very tiny bit.
Yes, we got 2 new lenses, and we're kind of on the fence on whether or not we're going to keep one of them.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
So we did.
You had a
we
friend visit from out of town.
Yes.
So that just kept us occupied.
Yes.
And the weather has been
Snowing.
insane. Yeah, there's still snow on the ground out there.
Yeah.
Right now, which is pretty wild. And it wasn't like a pretty snow to me.
I mean, it's pretty.
I guess.
It's crazy to see the marsh in the snow.
Yeah, I guess I just like it. Whenever I've shot in snow, I like falling snow and snow on branches.
Sure. Like in
You know?
terms of photography.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just didn't feel like it was worth the effort to try and get out in these conditions to
Yeah.
shoot anything. Plus, all the snow fell overnight.
Right.
Which
it's
was
not
kind
like
of a
we
bummer.
can have active snow.
Yeah, it wasn't falling during
Yeah.
any daylight.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a bummer. And then when we woke up, there was like nothing on the trees. A little bit of like crusty ice here and there.
Yeah.
But not enough
But a
to
good
even
couple of inches on the ground.
notice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, I felt like, for me, trying to go shoot stuff in the snow was like, well, we could shoot some like songbirds and stuff, like things in the forest.
Right.
But that's pretty standard and common, you know?
Yeah.
Like forest birds in the snow.
Right.
That happens all the
It'd
time.
be cool if there were.
I thought it would be neat
In
to
the
do the
marsh.
wading birds
Right.
in either the marsh or something at the beach
Right.
with falling snow, with like the different wading birds that are down here, like the southern species, you know,
Right.
they normally don't ever see with snow.
Right.
But that just didn't materialize. So like, yeah, the motivation for me to go out in the snow was kind of zero as far as photography.
Yeah.
Did you have any desire to
No.
get out and do it? You're like, let's stay out of the cold, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went for a couple of walks, but
Yeah, so the day after we recorded, that evening after we recorded, was this.
and that is with the new lens.
No, this was just
That's just 100, 400?
28 to 4.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, I love that.
One of our new lenses.
One of our new lenses.
You have to narrow down which new lens we're
Yeah.
talking about, yeah. I was
Yeah.
really happy with these,
I mean,
gotta
yeah,
say.
it's
This whole
definitely a very
series.
creative, and,
Yeah.
and you know, I know we talked about a little bit the cold and the warm, but I like the
With-
warm one too
We
with,
talked about that
another
with
friend.
Brad,
Yeah,
Brad.
this
like
is
what?
like it's super creative. It's
Yeah.
like so, and we were just shooting. It's a morning dove, right?
It's a morning dove, yeah.
And you're just shooting through a bunch of trees.
Yeah,
And
that was it.
you really found some cool
Which
foreground
one?
to shoot through. Now here, I feel like I like the warm one better.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Because you were liking the cooler version
I was
before.
liking the cooler version before, but I like both.
Yeah,
I
me
think
too.
it works either way, and it's one of those where you kind of have to probably push it one way or the other. Or
It was
doesn't-
actually pretty warm to begin with.
It was?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the warmer versions aren't really that altered, I don't think. Let's take a look here.
Oh yeah, let's see. Okay, yeah, so it
I guess
definitely
it
has
is a little bit.
I mean, yeah, it definitely has like a tint to it.
It was sort of,
But-
yeah, you know what? And actually, maybe this was the one. Yeah, see,
That
that's
one, it definitely lends to the warm. I mean, because it was close to sunset
it
when
was.
we were walking.
So I think the auto white balance was just shifting around based on my composition.
Yeah,
And so
but
like
it's-
these vertical ones started a little bit warmer, and then these horizontal ones started maybe a little bit
Cooler, maybe.
cool. Yeah, there's before.
Yeah.
This one.
I love that. I love the blue and the warm and the cool tones.
Yeah, look how
in
much
that one.
orange tone was in that one to
Yeah.
start out with.
Yeah,
So
you just leaned that way.
yeah, for the most part. And you're right. Like we were out at sunset, and it was the sky was orangey. So I
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
remember it being kind of that way. You
Yeah.
know. But yeah, I don't know. This kind of stuff. I don't know why it seems so easy in that moment.
To like not shoot.
No, to capture these shots like this through this stuff with the foreground.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why it's not easy to do this all the time when you see something. Because that bird was pretty far away. I don't even know
He
if I
was
shot
pretty
these.
far away.
Yeah, they were at 400 mil.
Yeah. Well, you have to have the right, I mean, you have to have some kind of foreground in order to get.
I guess that was it. It was just right, and these were those thick cedar trees.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
And it seemed pretty easy to just find an opening. Like I don't even think I shot a plain shot of the bird.
Yeah, because it would be much more boring.
It really was. I mean, it
Yeah.
was cool perch that it was on. Like
Yeah.
I don't know that one. I guess.
But if you were
Here,
shooting,
this one shows it a little bit more.
yeah, I mean they all show kind of the shape of the
Yeah.
branch there. But like I think if you didn't have all that foreground stuff, it would just be more of like a kind of a messy scene.
It was. I think there was so much
And
busyness
just
down
like all
here.
of this, all of the
that tree was
trees
in
and
focus.
stuff. Yeah, so it makes sense
Yeah.
to use the foreground, and then you've got a really creative looking shot.
Yeah, it was just so funny. Like this was just a quick walk basically around the neighborhood here.
Yeah.
I
One
just
of
brought
those-
a camera because it was nicer out.
One of those instances we always bring a camera just in case.
We kicked the mourning doves up off the trail. They really like that spot. Every time I
okay.
walk through that path, they're always flying out of there. So I don't know if there's food there or if it's just like a good resting spot for them or what.
But yeah, you got some really nice stuff.
Yeah, I was happy with it.
So
I was
it
like
shows
really
you
happy.
you can be really creative with that
And
28
this
to 400.
I was just gonna say, and this is at f8
F8.
again. So
Yeah, and you got really cool textures.
Yeah,
You got a really I mean, yeah, that lens is really good, especially like
when the scenario is.
yeah, that's
You know?
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, like, just walking around in a, foresty kind of habitat.
Yeah.
You don't need, those.
Super fast glass.
Yeah.
But, this was just a silhouette, so that helped, right? So I don't
Sure.
think the settings got pushed that high. Yeah. So, 560th of a second. But I do remember, what were we doing? Oh, the beach with this lens
And
at dusk. And
yeah.
then it was so fast, went to crap,
So this is my friend Ellie. And it's also using one of our new lenses, which is a TT Artisan.
Oh, yeah, we don't have the details there. Was it 52 millimeter?
No, it's a 75.
75, that's right.
And it's 1.5?
Is it a 1.5?
1.5?
F1.5?
I think so.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And
Yeah.
it's a manual focus lens. So this one is supposed to give swirly bokeh effect, which I think you can totally see here. Oh, is that just a normal shot?
This was just
Cell
showing
phone
like
shot.
where we
Okay.
were. Yeah, that one
But
shows
this
it
one
more.
really shows, and I feel like there is a cool effect to this lens where it kind of like leads your eye into the middle of the frame.
Yeah.
So I do like it, and I think it's kind of...
I mean, you nailed like focus on that one. That's
Well, thank you.
pretty darn sharp right there.
Pretty
I'd
good.
say.
Yeah. It's a handsome subject. I think we have a couple more with that lens.
Yeah.
I think it does give like a really cool look. So I don't know if I'd use it. I think it'd be tough to use for wildlife. But like these are sharp enough, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're plenty sharp.
And
yeah.
like I think that's a really cool photo.
It is. Yeah, it's a great shot.
And like the background, it gives just like this really strange kind of look to it.
Yeah, definitely. So this is one of you behind the scenes here.
Yes.
Shooting the other lens.
So we got a 75.
Which one's this?
This is the swirly.
This is still swirling.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got a 75, I think it's 1.8 or 1.5.
It's 1.5.
1.5, you checked?
Yeah.
And 250 5.6, that's a donut bokeh lens.
Yes.
And so we brought these out to this little garden that's nearby, the Coastal Discovery Museum.
Yeah.
And the camellias are in
These flowers, yeah.
season. So they have a whole garden for this. Yeah, so these are all that swirly bokeh.
Yeah.
And I think...
I just struggle with this kind of stuff. Like I feel like there's definitely something you have to figure out, like the right distance.
Yes,
to
because
really show
here
it. This just looks like a shallow depth of
It just
field
looks
shot.
like, you could have taken that maybe on your phone even, except for like this bokeh up top here.
Yeah.
And we were really it was our first time playing with the lens.
Sure.
And I think where it shines more is like in those portraits. You can tell that difference a lot more when there's
That's
like
what I mean. I think you need space.
Yeah, whole out of focus scene, like any of these ones.
Yeah.
Where it definitely shows that different kind of look.
Yeah. See, like that one to me is already getting close enough where the background's so out of focus it's harder to tell. You can see it a little bit, but this one shows it more.
Yeah.
And that one shows it a
And
ton.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that effect is, there's something about it that is just really cool.
It is really pleasing, but like the difference between that one and that one is pretty significant to me.
We have a guest on the show today.
Yeah,
because
because it's the only way to shut her up.
Yes.
Penny.
Welcome to the show, Penny.
All right. But I just still am curious.
And this one.
Yeah.
So this is the 250 donut bokeh lens. Oh, look at that model.
Look at that texture,
and
though.
the textures on that one are really, really cool. I
Trippy
love
and
it.
dreamy.
And so I was shooting through, like you could see in that other shot, I was shooting through some
That was your foreground?
bushes, pretty much.
Yeah.
And all it takes is a little bit of stuff to make like a really dreamy looking scene.
Yeah.
That one's a little soft, but
Yeah.
so that's the other thing. Both of these are manual focus lenses. And then what I was doing was just making everything out of focus.
Yeah.
Because I thought it looked really cool. It doesn't really matter to me.
That one's fun.
Yeah.
That's real fun.
So that's some of those flowers.
Wow.
And then that's the flowers with one of those live oaks in the background with the Spanish moss hanging. And there's that handsome man again.
So that's not even using foreground at that point. That's just the background. That's just clean for the background there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was a cool place to shoot
Yeah.
because there was so much texture in the trees. And we both, I think I had a picture of you through, that probably was, like we were both shooting each other. Okay, so this is a fun one. Because you were shooting 1 to 4?
100 to 400, yeah.
Yeah, and then I was shooting that.
So I shot it at 400 millimeter. And the only reason I kept these is just so we can compare.
Yeah, well.
Because they're pretty mediocre shots. You know? So we did see a pine warbler. And this is what we're trying to do, by the way, just to kind of let everyone know. We're trying to evaluate, by shooting anything, if these lenses are going to be good enough for us to keep for wildlife. I mean, we have good all-around lenses, but, you know, like the other one will probably, I don't know, if we're going to keep that other one.
That 500. Which one? Oh, the 75.
Yeah, the 75.
Yeah, I do like the way it looks for like portraits of people, but then how often am I doing that? I mean, maybe my niece, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then where would I be photographing?
You purchased these lenses.
I did.
I don't remember the cost of them. What were they each? About $300 or something like that?
Yeah.
So it's not a massive investment, you know, but still, if it's just going to be a thing that just sits in the cabinet the whole time and never gets used, it's like, why are we going to hang on to it?
I feel like, I don't know, like imagine a puffin with it in the cool cliff scene. Would it look any different?
I don't know.
It would look different, I feel like, if you're at the right distance. But then it's like that sweet spot of having your subject, you know, it has to be just the right spot, I feel like. I feel like the subject has to be pretty centered.
To me, that's the other thing. That's a really good point, actually. Because if you throw them off to the side, I think I did that with shooting a few of you and your friend.
Yeah.
And they weren't sharp either. So number one, you really lost focus. It starts getting kind of into the swirly zone, you know, on the side of that lens. So it does seem like it kind of encourages sort of centered composition, which is not what I tend to do.
Right.
And I think it's the manual focus thing.
The manual focus thing is annoying. I've never shot a lens that's manual focus till now.
And this is the fourth manual focus lens we have now.
Oh,
I have the lens baby.
No, the lens, that 10 isn't.
Which is the 35 millimeter.
Right.
That's manual focus. The old 500 mirror lens, which we're going to ditch in favor of this 250 millimeter mirror lens, which we definitely know we're keeping, by the way.
Yeah, that one is super cool.
That donut bokeh one, which you'll see some more of in a second here. Well, here, I'll switch this back so people can see. There you go. So yeah, that's just another one with the 1 to 4, and then look at that.
I mean,
that's
is cool.
Why we're keeping that.
It's pretty cool. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like, it's soft, you know, a little bit, the bird. And
yeah, but again, this is just proof of concept here.
Yeah,
like
just
this
to
was
show.
Not.
And I feel like these kind of scenes where,
yeah, that's so cool.
Where there's more stuff in the background, so like a foresty scene is going to really be where that lens shines, or where you can use bokeh, like, you know,
foreground, background,
foreground,
bokeh. Yeah, like really sparkly
something
bokeh.
Sparkly, like at the sand at the beach, or
sure, backlit bubbles, stuff on the surface, splashing water, that
waves.
kind of stuff. Yeah.
Which we haven't done yet with this lens.
Yeah, so we have this one. Was it the tilt shift, the old 500, and then the 75 now. So that's 4 manual focus lenses. And I'm not opposed to the manual focus in and of itself. To me, it's like, it's a big pain to shoot and get sharp shots, so it has to be different enough to be worth that hassle.
But I feel like if we go back to those portraits, like that is a different look. So it's like you have to...
Yeah, but does it jump out at you?
I feel like it's pretty different. Because to me, it's like everything's kind of framing around that subject. And it's like, I don't know, it's almost like making your eyes, I don't know. Yeah. There's something about it that I really like.
I don't dislike it. I'm just questioning if it's different enough, if you're going to notice it in enough examples.
I think it might be like a challenging focal length for wildlife.
Yeah, that's the other thing, right? And that's so it's 75 millimeter?
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, if I get into that focal length range, I usually want to go wider.
Wider, yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I guess it just takes a different approach. I was just going to say, in those focal lengths, 100 millimeter or less, I'm really trying to show off the habitat.
Right.
This is more about making the habitat like weird and dreamy.
Yeah.
Not
kooky.
showing it off directly, which I'm all for.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm all for like weird and
weird stuff. Yeah. I don't know. I think it looks cool.
Yeah. I'm not denying it looks cool. I just am trying to.
You're trying to picture a scenario not with a human.
I think, well, yeah, I was just going to say, I think I'm struggling to think of the scenarios. Like the other lenses, I can automatically in my head imagine and apply.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a scenario where we're going to use it. And we have some more of those coming up. Like this already, I guess that was the silliest way of getting there. This already proves to me, I'm like, okay, yes, like I can see the potential here. Yes, I know this isn't like the most amazing shot.
No, it's not a great scene.
But I can totally see the potential here.
Right.
Whereas those others, even though it's just the portraits of the flowers and people, I can't yet connect the dots to how I could use that for wildlife,
Yeah. So it's a work in progress.
But it does help that it's a $300 lens.
Yeah, it's
like
not
that makes it easier to be like, well, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not nothing, but it's also not, spending $1,000 on like, oh, maybe we'll use it,
Yeah.
Which at that point I'd be like, let's probably return the thing,
Right.
So
Onward.
It seems like you're leaning towards
I'm
keeping it.
leaning towards keeping it just because I do like looking at them again. I do like those shots. So this once
is
again.
Me shooting that
no,
mirror.
that was me.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Jeez. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
I was shooting.
I was thinking of the wrong timeline here.
Yeah, I think we might be a little out of sequence. Oh no, that's right. That's the right sequence.
Yeah, we went to another place to look for armadillos.
Yes, we did.
Didn't find any.
We didn't, but we didn't stay out too long.
No,
because we were hungry. This is the truth.
This is our dedication. Matter. This is how dedicated we are to shooting lately. Yeah.
But no, I just took that just another out of focus scene because I thought it looked cool. So you were just shooting.
Yeah. So this was just 24 to 120.
Yeah.
Not good.
No.
No, it's like it's so funny too. I'm like, you look out and the scene's pretty, and you're just trying to come up with something, and that one's better.
Yeah, but still,
it's
like
still not. I know.
And it could also be like the dead grasses that aren't like super.
I feel like this is one that actually the 135.
Oh, the Plana?
8 would have done the trick.
That would have done good.
Like, because this would have been all dreamy
blurry
back there.
Yeah, you're right.
And more like impressionist,
Yeah, that would look cool. Probably.
Or maybe.
And I do love that lens.
Maybe the 75.
Maybe the 75
would have done the trick there. Yeah.
But still, it's kind of cool to see. So this one was with the donut one.
Yes.
And I just included it. It's not a great shot, but I included it because it does look a little bit different.
Yeah, for sure.
In the water there.
Yeah, the water's all kinds of trippy there.
So
really fun. It's just so hard to manually focus things moving.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, like this. I was shooting. Or no, this is 24 to 120.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
did you shoot any of these guys?
I did, and I did some like out of focus ones, but it just looked silly.
You didn't like them?
It was just like little circles as the bird. So then
this was a nice surprise.
Yes,
Bufflehead out there.
Bufflehead. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just in like this little freshwater pond.
Yeah, that looks pretty nice. I like that.
I was just gonna say the only reason I shot it is because I'm just gonna take the settings off so people can see the whole thing there. I've never shot Bufflehead in a setting that included any kind of greenery. I've only ever shot them way up north in the winter, and everything's brown, and you get some golden light, and it's either blue water or brown, like that's all I've ever shot them in.
Yeah, it's kind of cool in that pond with the...
it's like very green and springy looking in a way. And so that's what I was trying to do. I was just I was envisioning or seeing that darkness like flanked on green, top and bottom there, and just trying to make something happen in there. It's so tough. With this small and frame stuff, it's like
I kind of like that one.
Yeah, I don't hate that. This sucks, all that out of focus thing there, but I could remove that. In fact, I think I finally noticed it and moved.
Yeah.
But I did have to do a little bit of edit on these just to get them to really kind of be dark and pop because it was kind of like flat, nothing crazy.
No.
But it definitely improves the color and everything on it. And then I think this.
Is this the donut?
The 250 millimeter mirror lens, yeah.
I feel like that shows different foreground. It kind of makes it look more interesting.
Yeah, it does. But the foreground, there was.
I mean, it's a
it
little
was too sporadic.
bulky. Yeah,
exactly.
Bulky
it wasn't
and weirdly placed.
It wasn't consistent enough. It was just like these stumps. So I was looking for anything just to see what it would do. So yeah, I just really kept trying to find something in the foreground to see if that lens would do anything different with it, and it doesn't seem to do as much in the foreground.
I think it does a little bit. Like those textures are definitely different, but like here you wouldn't notice.
I know, you can't.
Here you would just think maybe it's.
You can't tell at all. I think this is still that lens.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting that it doesn't really show a
certain
difference
shots
there.
Just don't show it.
I wonder
at all.
if it's like really far away, if it just doesn't have that same. Which is strange. I don't know.
I mean, I wonder if this is dark here. Like, if we.
I mean, it just kind of looks like out of focus. Yeah.
What is up with that? Yeah.
So I don't know if it's just because it's so far away.
Or does it really require highlight point bokeh in order to kind of show that effect? You know, like I just don't know. Here's some foreground. But again, it
looks like maybe any other lens.
Yeah,
right.
I know.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, then we saw Snowy on the way out.
We did have a couple of videos here. Yeah, here we go. So we can watch this real quick. Let me just turn the volume down on that. So yeah, you were saying?
Like so crooked. This is how I shoot videos. That's really bad.
It was short.
It was a short little video, just to show that he was like what the scene was when you were shooting. So that's also now this looks different.
Right? Now it shows it.
Yeah.
And even a little bit in there, but it kind of does even over there.
Yeah.
Even
it's
a little
more like
bit
half circles.
in here looks weird.
Yeah, and then but definitely towards the edges.
So what's the difference? I mean, this subject is way closer.
Up in here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But this subject is much closer.
Right.
So like if I focused on something out there, would it all have gone away? You know, I don't know. Like this is definitely the experimentation that we have to figure out with this lens. But I do like that at least this thing will give you a sharp photo.
Yeah.
Unlike that 500 millimeter bokeh lens.
Which we showed in a different episode. Yeah. We showed some of your shots from that.
Yeah, that thing, it just was never sharp.
Yeah.
And it's, again, this one has no stabilization.
Right.
Much easier to hold 250 millimeter like straight and stable.
Focus on
anything than 500 millimeter with no stabilization. That thing, it was like, looked like you were in an earthquake when you were looking through the lens.
I didn't really shoot it.
So tough.
But,
yeah. And because I think you're trying to show off the bokeh in the image, you want like a little bit more scenery with a 250 millimeter focal length. It seems better than 500 millimeter.
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah. So all these kind of did the trick.
I think they totally.
Actually, don't hate the shots.
Yeah, I think they're interesting. They're definitely different.
Yeah.
Would love for him to be a little bit away from the background. But,
of course.
That's kind of how they work.
Well, as soon as I got down there, that's when he moved. You saw in that video he was really close, but I couldn't get down there quick enough. Yeah, there. So he was right there. If I could have got down there when he was there,
then that'd be it. And it'd be interesting to see what the grasses would have looked like.
Exactly.
With that distance from the background.
Yep. So.
Ooh.
This was our snow walk.
Yes.
Yes. So after the snow,
the South Carolina snowstorm.
Not something we thought we were going to be saying.
Ooh, love that.
Just playing around with that donut bokeh lens.
Right,
again.
the 250.
Yeah.
Yeah. TT Artisan.
And what is it? It's a 5.6 lens?
5.6.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I put some of the settings in. Oh, yeah. You can only pick 300 millimeter as a lens. You couldn't pick 250. So these lenses don't report what they are to the camera.
Okay.
So you can go in on the Nikon and set what it is supposed to be.
Okay.
But it only has 200 millimeter and 300 millimeter.
Oh.
It has like a bunch of shorter focal lengths.
Yeah.
And then when it gets to there, it just jumps 200, 300,
Weird.
and then I think higher, you know. But it doesn't do the 250, so I was like, yeah, whatever. We'll just pick. I think
close enough, 300. Yeah.
I should probably pick. Well, I guess 200. We have a 72. I was trying to pick something that was in between.
Different? Oh, okay.
So it would report it that way. But I think I forgot to set the aperture on it anyway. So, but yeah, it does some really cool stuff there. This was another one of those where I was like, man, imagine
if
like
you
a
had
perch
a bird
coming into here, like into this distance in the foreground with something on it, and that background.
What a scene! Yeah, it's really cool, really fun, really different. Yeah.
So much potential with this lens.
Yeah.
To do some really
even
cool
like that,
stuff.
if there was,
Yeah. The lens flare is pretty funky on it.
Yeah.
It didn't seem to give the rainbow effect we got with the 500.
Right.
Which I'll miss a little bit.
A tiny bit up there, rainbow.
Oh, yeah.
But not the same type of rainbow.
That thing was insane. That 500 millimeter was berserk.
And look, you got some birds.
He's not sharp. That's about as sharp as I got him. I mean, manual focus in flight.
I think it's pretty good.
It's passable.
And it's super cool.
It's very different.
Yeah.
You know, that one works.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
Sharp, but I like this shot so much better.
I like both.
Compositionally, this one's just too much plain sky to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love that.
I do and I don't.
Okay.
I like all of this, and I don't like that branch.
Oh, I don't mind it, because it's like framing them in there still.
Yeah.
So it's just a group of ibis flying by, and it was beautiful, as you can see, sky.
This one I like.
Wonderful colors. Yeah, really cool.
I didn't get these guys sharp.
But like, doesn't matter.
I mean, there's a limit, you know. Yeah, I agree. I don't think they need to be
I don't think they need to be tack, especially because it's going to be like, they're not huge in the frame.
It's a little.
I don't know. I think
mush.
I think it's passable. Palm tree, out of focus palm tree.
Yeah, this was fun to play with.
Yeah.
This concept, I want to shoot regular, completely blue focus on this. Like these are really soft, you know, but conceptually.
Using the palms.
Yeah, in the foreground, I would shoot that with a plain lens.
Right.
I mean, it's also kind of pointless to shoot with this lens because it doesn't do anything different.
Right. Yeah, you wouldn't know.
So 250 millimeter.
That looks cool. It almost looks like a scrunched up piece of paper.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, totally. Yeah, but conceptually, I was like, oh, there's something to this. That could be fun. And these flocks fly out there all the time, right at dusk. Yeah. So we could just go post up by one of these palms and then sit there and try and do that, you know?
Ooh, just
and then I left that just because to see what the lights do. This was urban lights.
Urban lights, yeah.
They came out real crisp and neat.
Yeah,
so
really
I'm
interesting.
Like, ooh, yes,
and
please.
Like some color, different, like the orange and different colors.
Yeah, I don't know if that was like how the lights were showing through or if that's what the lens did.
Ooh, what's that?
That is our other new toy.
All we're doing while we're known is buying new stuff. This is what we notice too when we're not on the road.
Yes.
We just...
Because we can get stuff shipped. We get stuff shipped.
It's like, might as well...
Buy everything now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
This will be fun to play with.
But we already had the housing.
Yes.
It came with... Well, it doesn't come with any ports. You had to pick the ports. And I ordered it...
Chose poorly.
Yeah, I chose poorly because I ordered a flat port, a short one. It was too short even for this 10 millimeter. I thought it was going to fit in there. And it was like, I ordered it because it was cheaper. I was just trying to keep the cost down.
Right.
Thankfully, I already had the big long port for the bigger lenses from the past time I had the housing. But we kind of decided, you know what, if we're going to do this, I really, in my mind, I wanted to try some wider angle stuff.
Yeah.
With...
like that over-under
with
water
potentially some over-underwater stuff.
Yeah.
And I can think of at least one place in Florida that I should be able to consistently do that. And that's where I can shoot these birds just wide angle all the time. So if we go here, let's see, wide angle. I think it should be listed here. Gosh, Tortugas would have been amazing to have it.
My gosh, that water there is so clear.
Exactly. But here, like, when I can do that at 24 millimeter consistently with no problem, and this water there is usually pretty
really clear. Yeah.
It's really good water conditions. Most of the time you can see right to the bottom, you know?
Yeah.
But my thinking is to shoot early morning sunrise and sunset with it, you're not going to have much light going into the water. So I don't know how much you're going to see underwater. It's going to get so dark.
So it has to be more like
I think we're going to need to do kind of bright stuff. But I'm thinking kind of, let's see here. You know what? I have a shot in mind. Great egret. I think if I go out and shoot midday, here we go.
Ooh.
Yeah, let's get rid of that. So there's another one, 24 millimeter, no problem. You can see how many birds are there. There's tons of options.
Right.
The sun's getting much brighter in the sky.
Yeah.
I can even wait for it to get brighter. Because this is 24 mil.
Right.
We got the 10.
10, yeah.
That 10 is going to show so much sky all the time. And I mean, I wouldn't mind if that bird was smaller in the frame there.
Sure, yeah.
It would work.
Yeah, totally.
And then we could see into the water. And the water's only like this deep there. So you'd be able to really see under there to see what they're going after. I think there's a lot of potential for that one. And it's just this one spot. And this spot is so consistent.
Well,
I've gone back year after year and just shot 24 millimeter birds there all the time because the birds are so acclimated to fishermen there. And so you can just basically walk right in with them and hang out. And when the fishing is good for them there, there's tons of them. I've had reddish egret there, little blue heron, snowy egret, great egret, tricolored heron have shown up in there.
Yeah.
So like all these amazing wading birds that I just think it could be so much fun to play with.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, something to look forward to for next month.
So we have that new toy to try with. So that's it with the 10 millimeter in it, but we can also get the 24 to 120 in there.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I didn't try yet, but it's
2470
should fit in there too. So if we wanted a 2.8 lens versus an f4, we can get that in there. And I don't know what else might fit in there, but anything longer, and then we would just put it in that other one with the long straight port on it anyway.
Right.
Because you really don't need the big glass dome at that point unless you're shooting wide to see underneath.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I'm excited to try some.
Yeah. And there's us in the snow.
Yeah. Who would have thought?
Yeah. And then we do have this one video. This was cool.
Oh, maybe the sound.
It is weird.
Swaying. Yeah, seeing the swaying Spanish moss with the snow-covered ground was pretty neat.
And this beautiful tree.
That tree is stunning back there.
Yeah.
So this is one of the same trees I'm trying on the marsh side to do the pre-capture stuff with, which I'm running out of time. But the tides haven't been good for it anyway. So yeah.
And that's our week.
Yeah, quite a wild time this week with the weather and everything, and all the new gear.
Yeah.
So
now we have to play with it more, and I mean you played with some in like sunset light, but it'll be interesting to play with it more in like those.
Totally agree. Yep.
Golden hours.
For sure. So next week, guys, we'll have a trip.
Talk about going to Jekyll Island.
Yeah, we're going to Jekyll Island. It's an island on the coast of northern Georgia, right? So just over the South Carolina border. And it's really cool. I don't know if we have any photos in here.
Probably. From there. Driftwood Beach.
Yeah. Let's see. How do you spell it, Jack?
Yeah. JKYLL. Nope.
Yeah,
Maybe
I guess
try
not.
Driftwood.
No, it doesn't look like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway.
We'll show you next week.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll have that trip in, and we're going to be there for
3 nights.
3 nights. That's cool. And then we should still have some time when we get back to do some shooting before we record around here, hopefully. Maybe by then we'll have at least my dry suit so I can get back out in the water. Yeah. Because yours still seems to be doing okay. Yeah. And then we can get back out and try some underwater stuff again, or underwater housing, I should say.
Right.
So it should be a fun one this coming week, and hopefully we'll have some more stuff to show.
Thanks for watching.